Okay, I think we're live. Both platforms. Sick, let's do it. Never need chew. Hey mate, how you going? You were away, weren't you? From memory, you were away for a little bit. How was your time away? Good to see you back, mate. Great, that is good, mate. Good to hear. Love a bit of a vacation holiday time. The times of the streams have been clashing with school. Yeah, sorry about that, mate. I haven't been streaming that much either recently. I've been too busy with work and stuff. It's been a bit crazy. I think it's been about a month since the last time I streamed here on TikTok, but also on YouTube as well. Kind of be focusing on that platform for a little bit too. No, you haven't missed too much. We've painted a little bit up in sort of the World Eaters commission that I've been working on. And a little bit more on the Dark Angel stuff too. But just hobby time in general has been quite limited for myself, unfortunately. So yeah. Vulcan, Hestar, nice Dark Angel, thank you. And Molly, cool, thank you very much, appreciate it. Yeah, so back on the sort of commission, we finished this, I actually painted up this Biologus Apothecary off stream. I was doing that just to get a bit of catch up because I was taking a little bit too long painting, so I needed to paint some stuff, and it's easier to paint when I'm not streaming. So yeah, I kind of knocked this one out as quick as I could. And pretty happy with how he turned out. And yeah, we've been doing some of these off stream as well. This little World Eater jackals and stuff as part of a different commission that we have been working on. Yeah, still need to touch up her, but getting there. Well, you started your first army recently, mate. Nice work. Dark Angels, good choice. Mysterious chapter, indeed. Sean Reed, how'd you do your white? I use the airbrush because airbrush is a fantastic tool. But you start off with grey. I think I used this actually, steel grey, so it's like a blue grey as the base coat, and then I kind of went up into off-white here, so never up to pure white except for edge highlights. You just kind of get a bit of a gradient. That's how we did that little dude. Yeah, I was just playing around with it. I was just, yeah, having a bit of fun. See what we could come up with. I'm pretty happy with the result on the white, rather than like a dark grey. I thought like a blue steel grey might be interesting, and yeah, pretty happy with how it turned out. Yeah, give it a shot, guys. Should be fun. Kai Jarvis, love your models, bro. Something I aspire to be like. Oh, thank you, my friend. Too kind of you. I appreciate it. You'll get there, mate. No worries at all, I believe. What unit are we working on? I actually don't know. It's part of the commission. So these are, I got 3 more of like their kind of captain HQ units that he's requested. I know this one's Master Lazarus, but I don't know what the other 2 are. But we'll just paint them up anyway. Brendo. Awesome work, bro. I still can't seem to fade for my Dark Angels. Thank you, dude. I appreciate the kind words. I like doing the fades with the airbrush. I love it. Such a good tool. And carvers, you got so much grey but don't have the confidence to paint them. Mate, it's okay. You just gotta put paint to brush and brush to plastic and do that over and over again, and then you'll get your confidence. You just have to chip away at it, otherwise they're going to stay grey. And we don't want that, do we? Stern Guard veterans or Blade Guard? Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't think they're Blade Guard. They could be Stern Guard vets. I have no idea, unfortunately. Do I rate speed paints? Yeah, I actually quite like them. I think they do have a very useful place. I use them for their intended purposes sometimes if I'm doing speed painting, hence the name. But I also like them for like washes and glazing and that sort of stuff. I think it comes in quite handy. Yeah, I actually got my hands on some of the AK 3rd gen stuff, which I'm yet to try. These bad boys here. The quick gen, sorry, not 3rd gen. Well, they are 3rd gen, but the quick gen speed paint range. Because I've seen some cool stuff with this color, reddish flesh, and I want to give it a shot. So I will tell you how they go once I've had a chance to use them. I'm always trying to find like ways to speed up painting faces to a decent standard, because as we all know, faces are quite tricky, and if I can take a shortcut to making good looking faces, I will 100% take that. Carl painting the best Legion? Yeah, mate, 100%. One of my Legions that I like, that's for sure. I do like plenty others, but Dark Angels are a cool one. You got gifted Army Painter speed paint set? Yeah, nice, dude. I've used a few of the speed paints, like Slaughter Red is a fantastic one. I used it to paint one of my Khorne Berserkers. Some really good uses for their speed paints. And they're really good through an airbrush too, if you wanted to like use it for glazing and all that sort of stuff. Definitely worth giving it a shot if you've never tried that before. Vulcan has done. Yeah, sorry, mate. Someone in the other chat saying that these are the best Legion. You can take it up with them. I'm assuming Salamanders are your faction of choice. Harvey, what model is this? I don't know, I'm sorry. It's a Dark Angels something. I'm going to say like a lieutenant or captain. One of those two guys. And Arthur, how do I get the faded gradient effect on the body? That is using an airbrush, my friend. It doesn't take long. And it's one of my favorite tools to just lay down a few quick effects, and then you come in with a paintbrush to do all the edge highlighting and painting the robes and all that sort of stuff. I love doing that. Trader, hello my friend. How are you? and Adventure Night. How you going? I think for now that's all the white. Oh, I might paint this white on the back too, rather than gold. That will look cool. So we're going for sort of premium state tabletop standard with this dude, as a bunch of the others, but we're going to spend a little bit more because I think the guy wants that touch more extra loving on his sort of command units, which is what we're going to do. Slightly elevated, but nothing too crazy. For the gold, we're going to use Necro Gold, scale 75. It is a dope color. I highly recommend you give it a shot if you've never tried it before. It's kind of like a gold that's got a bit of green tones to it. And it is one of my go-tos. That is what we've been using to paint all our gold so far. And we shall continue to. Mike, it's beautiful, mate. Doing Dark Angels Captain as well. Picture this, but worse. Nah, mate. I'm sure yours is just as beautiful, mate. Lady Foxtail, thank you. I appreciate the kind words. Olivius, what mini is that? It's a Dark Angels something. I'm going to assume Captain. But yes, we are just painting a little commission, and we got 2 more in reserve that we will hit later on. Don't know if we'll get it on this stream, but we'll try our best and see how far we can go. Because we're going to whip out some enamels later, but I don't know if they will be dry to continue. So we may have to wait until another stream to finish the model. In fact, we probably will. Sean, Necro Gold was coming. Oh, you called it, mate, 100%. Can't go a stream without whipping out this bad boy for this Dark Angels lot, that's for sure. If you got $1 for every time I use Necro Gold, mate, you'd be rich. Red Drone, do I have any recommendations on how I can keep a steady hand, as I have issues with keeping still in the slightest? Any tips would be appreciated. Sure, mate. I've said it before on a few streams, because I've had similar questions. So it'll take a quick second. The way that I paint is pretend that you've got your hands handcuffed together. So they're nice and tight like that. And I press into the desk to hold my hands and put my body weight into it when I'm using the fine details. And stay away from coffee if you're doing fine details, otherwise you'll be shaking like a leaf. So yeah, leaning into the desk. And then when you're actually painting, pulling the brush towards you, you're going to always have a lot more control than if you're trying to push away. So hopefully those couple of little tips help you. Give it a go. Report back. Carl's finished up painting Asmodai and Azrael. Very nice. I want to paint Asmodai. I've painted up Azrael before, but not Asmodai. Or whoever the guy is that's like the Terminator, the Deathwing dude. That looks like a cool model too. Allergic fungus. Hello, my friend. How you going? It does look like it's a kit bash. This guy, his models, there's a lot of kit bashing that he does with these models, which is really cool. So yeah, definitely could be a mix of kits. I need to restock my Necro Gold. We're using it too much. It's drying up too quickly on my palette. And I bought a new brush the other day, guys, and it's the same one that I've been using for a couple of years. A size 0 Raphael Kalinsky Sable. Who would have thought, eh? My other one was just getting a little bit too beat up. I literally use it to paint everything, so she was getting a little tired. She's still here on my work desk, but just having a breather. Belial, that's it. That's the name of the guy I'm thinking. Appreciate it, Allergic Fungus. Thank you. Jamie, sick painting. What Warhammer world is it? I'm going to say this is Dark Angels from the 40,000 universe. Warhammer 40k. I think that's what your question is asking. For the Emperor.
For the Emperor indeed, brothers. Fight and die in his name.
So when these models came to me, they actually already had paint on them. So I tried to strip off as much as I could. Jace, you mentioned paints in it. That just reminded me. Because you can sort of see here, see how it's kind of clogged up? We couldn't get all the paint off previously, so we stripped what we could, and we're just going over with our rendition now. It's kind of like those hobby makeover type videos, just doing it without the video, and just for someone's commission. And that's what I always say to people, like when they're scared to paint their models, is that you can always strip them back if you really don't like them and you're afraid that you're going to mess up and, you know, Warhammer's expensive. You can always just strip off the paint, start again, keep practicing. Kai Jarvis, do I use just the one brush? I could paint the whole model with this single brush, and it's probably what we will be doing. Is a size 0 Kalinsky Sable. You can even paint eyeballs and pupils with this one paintbrush. So that's why I always tell people, like, you don't need to buy like 8 or 9 different brushes. As you get more advanced into the hobby, like 1 or 2 good brushes can do so much, like 99% of the work. But obviously the higher quality, they're going to cost more, but I find that I get use out of them. Can I do a face reveal at 100 subs? Oh yeah, sure, no worries, mate. I'm just AI in the corner up here. No worries. Melody Midnight, it's a perfect stream to stumble across before I start my Winged Hive Tyrant. Thanks, dude. Helisha, what's your favorite figure to work on? Look, I have to say Classic Space Marines. They're always good fun. I've painted a lot of them, so I enjoy painting them. Warhammer is lame. John, mate, you're in the wrong place then. If you think Warhammer is lame, I will challenge you on that opinion. Satanic Bunny, good evening, and much love to you from Bris Vegas, eh? I was up in Bris Vegas a couple of months ago. Won't be back for a little while. What do we do here? I'm gonna paint this gold too. Any tips for gluing pre-painted parts? I just painted my first flyer and getting it glued to the stand was very difficult. I would just scrape away and be very careful to the bare plastic where you're trying to glue. Because otherwise, yeah, the glue's can like interact with the paint in weird ways and get really stringy and sticky and gross. If you can, try and scrape away where you're going to make the glue contact points. That's really the only tip I can give you there on like those plastic clear flyer bases. Yeah, it's a tricky one. Necron's better. Necrons are pretty cool, mate. I'll give you that. They were my first army and first thing that got me into Warhammer. Did I airbrush the green or is it painted? Airbrush for the green, and then went in with some edge highlighting with my paintbrush. Noah, that was the plan of attack with this model. Thank you, mate. I appreciate it. Now we've got a name checks out Satanic Bunny praising Slanesh. What about painting Drukhari? Have you painted any of them? I actually have not. That's one of the factions I haven't painted before. But maybe, if I get hands on some of those new models, my answer may be different in the near future. Might go into the silver now if I think I've hit most of the gold areas. As I'm saying that, I'm finding areas where I've missed. Classic. But that'll do for now. Hubbard, big chugger. Good morning, mate. Loving the paint. What are your thoughts on doing heavy metal style? I enjoy the heavy metal style. Like, it looks cool. They're like proper trying to go full box art. For me, it takes too long. So I don't paint in that style, but I can appreciate it. And I think people that have mastered that skill are very awesome. Like the models that they produce. But I'm kind of leaning more into that artish style, you know, the ones where it's more volumetric and moody. Like, I do really like the look of those models that people do. It's fun to see you add gold to his sword. I always go for World Eater's Red. Yeah, mate, I love gold. I love the Necro Gold in particular, if you couldn't tell. And we just made a little boo-boo there. We got the silver on his cloak, which we didn't want to do. Easy fix though, no stress. Bit of water, wipe straight away. Thunder Pigments. Hey mate, how you going? Long time no see, dude. Welcome. Hope you've been well. Kaya, a paint job, looks clean. Absolutely love the gold and green. Did you airbrush armor because it looks really smooth with the gradient? I did airbrush. I am a big fan of the airbrush. And when I'm painting Space Marines, I will most often airbrush the armor. It's just quick, easy, I enjoy it, and I like the result, so that's what I sort of opt to go for. What I'm thinking of doing though is I want to try out the stippling method, like where people build up gradients and highlights purely just using stippling with a brush, and it looks like a really artistic interpretation. That's what I want to try at some stage. Maybe not on someone's commission, but on my own models. Muscle Rad, do I ever do dry brushing instead of airbrush? I mean, when it's needed, like when the technique I think is warranted, I will do it, like for certain areas. Personally, like I wouldn't dry brush a Space Marine like the slap chop method over like black primer with like white dry brush. For me, I'm not a massive fan of how it looks afterwards. Like it looks quite chalky. So I wouldn't do it on something like that, but things with lots of texture, I will opt to dry brush because I think it looks cool. And it's an easy method to do so. Just time and place, I think. It's kind of like with anything. Certain tools, certain techniques work better for certain things. Sorry guys, I missed quite a few messages in over here on YouTube. Give me a second. You love Space Wolf's red drone biases of the codex I've shown before. Yeah, look, I'm very keen. I was painting this up. I dropped it on stream, so hence he's like broken now. This is the armor for a Space Wolf. They head takers that I've been working on. So I'm pretty happy with the armor, how it's turning out. I'm filming this as we do it. This guy here is hopefully, now that I have to fix him because I fucking dropped him, his arm broke, his head fell off. It's going to be on my TikTok or the short videos that I do. But yeah, that's my personal project that I want to do. It's my own models that I'm painting up, which I very rarely get to do these days. So look out for that. That one's on the way some point in the future. And then maybe one day, if people like the result, I might even create a tutorial. We'll see. Vincent, thank you, dude. I appreciate it. No worries. Don't need to say you need to go brain rot. Just scroll, dude. It's all good. I'm not taking offense if you need to dip. I appreciate you stopping by. What paint range do I prefer? Vallejo, Citadel, etc. I like a lot of paint ranges, mate. I don't have like a single one that I use. At the moment, if I had to say a few, I would say AK 3rd Gen is fantastic. I really like Pro Acryl as well. And some of the Vallejo colors are quite nice too. Yeah, I think each range has some paints that are just awesome that I will always sort of tend to go to. You know, like Scale 75 with the Necro Gold is one of them. I love that paint, it's good. Kaya, thank you. Details look really poppy. Gradient, thank you. Appreciate it. Never need you. Thank you, dude. See ya. See you next time. Jay, this deserves more views. Thanks, mate. Appreciate it. Carl, shocked I don't have more followers. It's because I'm a lazy piece of shit, mate. I don't do enough. I don't think I've posted on TikTok in like 2 months or something. Whoopsie. That's why it just takes, like, I run out of ideas, but also I do travel a fair bit for work. I'm away quite often, and then I'm just making excuses for myself, you know, get home, I'm tired. But yes, I do need to focus a bit more on it, because I do enjoy it. I enjoy hanging out, doing this stuff, painting. Editing videos can take a bit of time though. It's one of the things that is also, it's fun, but it's just time consuming. That goose is sick, thank you. Is editing taking up too much? Yeah, I mean, like when I edit I don't know if it's the editing, it's the actual filming of the process. Stop, start, stop, start. Make sure that I'm staying in frame, all that sort of stuff. YouTube videos are a different story. I've only done 2 of those. And they take a lot more time to edit. But maybe one day I'll focus more on that. Psycho. Now I kind of want to stream the painting process. Usually just throw on metal in the background, but it looks like he's having a lot of fun talking with everyone. Dude, it's so fun. It's so fun. The only problem is I would be blasting metal as well. So Bring Me the Horizon, Make Them Suffer, Plotting You, all those I would be playing right now, but unfortunately we get copyright striked and they don't like it. TikTok, YouTube don't like it. So I have to do these generic tunes. Apologies. We are going to go red for the gun as well, the gun casing. Feels bad, Carl, feels bad. Sorry, mate. What if I 3D printed myself? I don't own a 3D printer, unfortunately, mate. I don't know if I've... It's just another thing, you know. Time, resources, money. I prefer to just buy them. At this point in time, anyway. But I do get to scratch the itch of painting by just doing this sort of stuff, commission painting. Where I don't actually have to pay for the models, but I can still paint. The sad part, though, is that I have to ship them away once they're finished. It's hard to part with them sometimes. Ray, you're hand painting it? Wow. Yeah, thank you. Yes. Good old crafty goodness. Trying to train up that hand-eye coordination, you know. Thank you, Flutter by April. Deaf Guy for the Lion. Another fellow Dark Angels fan, I think. Welcome. Alex, do you have any issue with scalpers in Warhammer like we do in Pokemon? I think so. I'm not across it. Like, I do watch YouTube videos. I know the chapter master Valrak talks about it quite often. I think scalpers are quite a big thing in the community, which is unfortunate. But I don't personally get affected by it because I haven't been buying new release stuff for a long time, so it doesn't, like, I haven't been put out by it, but you know, it's no good for the hobby in general. Liam, hey mate, what's happening, dude? How am I going on the commission? Much left to do? No, not too much left. I think 4 dudes, this one included, and then we're done. I showed it earlier, but I finished the Biologus, started and finished it off cam, just because I was a bit behind and I hadn't done anything in ages, so I just wanted to get back in the groove and paint something. So this is what we ended up with, and the client is happy. Just a decent standard, nothing extremely crazy. Because fuck that, it takes too long. Hell yeah, I knew you were a jammer. Mate, I love that shit. I went and saw Bring Me the Horizon a couple of years ago, though. We're headlining for Good Things Festival here in Sydney, and that was wicked. Absolutely loved it. Thank you, Bionic Director. And Crash Dive 007. Thank you. Lunarbird just purchased a combat patrol of the Astra Militarum. Can't wait to put them together and paint. First time. Awesome. Well, welcome. Good choice. Humans. Can't go wrong with that. Take on the horrors of the 40k universe. The Emperors. Well, I'll call them the Emperor's finest too. They're not super soldiers, but they've got a heart, you know. I wouldn't want to be there with a las gun facing off anything, but you know. Good work, Carl. That's awesome. 20k. Well done. Thank you, Def Guy. Appreciate it. Take care. See you, my dude. Maninya. What's my favorite miniature I've painted? I don't know. I was quite happy with the Sanguinius. Was it the Sanguinor model that I painted? I quite enjoyed painting that, the gold, to like a decently high standard. For me, anyway. Happy with how it turned out. That was an enjoyable paint. Oh, JJ, you bought way too many Warhammer boxes. I think we all fall into that trap, unfortunately. Too much plastic, not enough time. Let's pick up the stuff on his chest, the white bits, and see if we can do that. Proton, hello. I saw you on Garnier commercials. You can't hide from the Proton's reach. What Garnier commercials, mate? I don't know what you're talking about. Svenzilla, Blood Angels represent. Hell yeah, dude. Here is the entire thing for you, Guna. What a name. Thank you, Bionic Director. Very kind words, appreciate it. Love me the true grit of humans. Hell yeah, 100% Luna. What 40k, 30k books do you recommend? Spaceman, I'm sorry, you are asking the wrong person. I do not read, unfortunately. I'm not illiterate, but I just don't read. Unless they've got pictures, you know. I'd much rather be painting or just listening. I should do some more reading though. Expand my vocabulary. Good for you though, I hear. I think. Reading, good for you. Thanks, Prodon. Appreciate it. What do we got over here? Gosh, too many messages. Sorry, guys. Asmodai. No, not Asmodai. This is a captain, I believe. I'm not entirely sure, so if anyone can clarify, I would greatly appreciate it. I'm just going to try and paint the little feather bits. So I feel like the detail's a little bit too thin to try and dry brush it. So I'd rather try and pick them out. Let's try it. Sorry guys, I'm locking in at the moment. Gosh. That was hard. Could you paint one black white with a glossy red? I could definitely, but not on this one, unfortunately. This is not my model, so I can't go off script with the paint job. Sorry, my friend. You read the whole Heresy series, mate. That's a lot of books here. Well done. Shady Violet, thank you, my friend. Appreciate it. I'm glad you like it. Lunabird's reading Gant's Ghost, one of the Sororitas books. Very nice. If I knew how to read. Yeah, James, I'm in the same boat as you. If only I knew how to read. Fuck, I mince my words trying to read chat here. Can you imagine me reading a fucking book? No thanks. For the Emperor, we got a few in here.
For the Emperor, boys. For the Emperor, brothers. What is your duty?
That'll do. I might have to fix that up a little bit later. I'm not entirely happy with that. I think I mushed it in a few areas, but that'll be okay. We can always fix that later. Lunabird, 4 AM. Oh, dedication. Thank you for staying so long, my friend. You get to sleep, and I appreciate the sub. Hopefully see you next time. And James, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Now, I might do a bit of the sword, because I know last time you guys liked watching the sword, because we did a bit of wet blending. So I'll see if I can show you what we'll aim for, and it doesn't take too long. God. Yeah. So these guys are part of the commission that we did. Where is it? Yes. Something like this. So we're going to paint up the sword kind of like, what do you call it? Non-metallic-y, metal-y type look, with a bit of wet blending, and it's super quick, and it's kind of fun to do. So we're going to do the same on this guy. And you really only need 2 paints to do it. Can I say hi, Frank? Hi, Frank. The 2 paints that you need to do this is dark grey and off-white, or you could use a pure white, but off-white was the one that I got here. But really it's this dark grey is the one that we're using as the base. Is he getting blood on the sword? I don't think so. I'm not sure what my client wants. Maybe keeping it crisp and clean, I think, is the way this marine will be finished. Kefa? Holy shit, it's best live. Thank you, dude. Appreciate it. Jojo, your wife gave you permission. She said yes to you painting Warhammer. Lucky man. Or woman. Lucky person. To have that. Permission granted. You just sneak in them in the house and paint them under the stairs. Exactly right. Do the little Harry Potter hidey hole if you don't have permission. So we'll whack on just a base coat of this dark grey, nice and quickly. And we really don't need or care if it dries. If it dries, it's fine, whatever. And if it's still wet, it's whatever either as well. What we're going to do is kind of sketch in the highlights. So, what I mean by that is, I'm going to mix in a little bit of the dark grey to some white on my palette. And we're going to pick out the areas we want to be quite bright. And for this, I'm going to call this section, I'm going to choose this section rather, to be nice and bright. And then I'm going to imagine it goes dark, and then maybe bright again around about here. And what we want to do then is kind of do the opposite on the other side, where the sword kind of bends into the middle. So something like this could look cool. It looks like absolute shit at the moment, but that's okay, alright? It's just trust the process, alright? And then we're kind of going to do the opposite here, so we'll do the shiny bit there, and then here. Let's kind of do it in an alternating type pattern. Something like that. Uncle Drew, will I do Blood Angels? Maybe on stream at one point I will. I do love Blood Angels. So yes, we will have to do that at some point. Kate, it's so cool. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate it. For anyone who's just joined, we're going to end up painting a sword kind of like this. So you're just watching the process of it kind of going into a glaze effect like that. And this is kind of the beginning. That's why it looks like shit. Poodle, how did I get into this hobby? My cousin introduced me to it actually. When I was a little kid, we were in the mall and he said, I found this really cool shop, let's go have a look. And the rest was history. But it did stop for quite a while through high school and my early 20s. it just kind of lost interest and forgot about it. Came back into the hobby a couple years ago, 3 years ago maybe. So what we're doing now is working very thin, just starting to sketch in those transitions. Is that you painting a sword, sir? It is me painting a sword, my friend. Trying to anyway. See how it turns out. So we're kind of trying to glaze at the moment. Then we want to go dark. Just need to go back and forth, and you just slowly build up the gradient. Do I have any Imperial Knights edge runners? Not on me, unfortunately. I've painted a couple up in the past for commission, but obviously being commission, I had to send them back to their rightful owner, unfortunately. Did not get to keep them, which is a shame. Oop, what's happening there? Trying to put my fan on, it's a bit hot in here. Space Marines are the best. They're pretty good, Alex. Definitely. I was playing Warhammer not too long ago online and failed a mission, and one of my teammates messaged me telling me to uninstall. It's alright, code. No worries, mate. Even the Emperor's finest can't always pull through, you know? What happened here with my light? There we go. Let's keep working on this transition, shall we? There's no sort of real, I guess, it's kind of just a game of feeling out the transition. I can't really give you too many more tips, and it's just a lot of back and forth for this. It's just a game of seeing what works, and if it doesn't, then you can always just go back in with a little bit more color and pigment. We'll get it to work though. What colors am I using for the blade? At the moment, mate, I showed it earlier, but just for you, dark gray and off-white are the two colors that we're using to paint this blade. Did I just lick my brush? I sure did, mate. I had a good little snack. It makes you paint better if you didn't know, licking the paintbrush. Exactly, tasty. Absolute delicioso. Kate, my partner, licks his brush too. I can't bring myself to do it. Oh, it's a rite of passage, Kate. You need to. 100%. And like, this one right here, Rattling Grime, oh, top tier, chef's kiss, delicious paint to just consume. I drink it by the bottle. You can sort of see the blending effect starting to take place. Starting to see a little bit of a result, which is good. Taking a little bit longer than expected. I think it's quite warm in my room, so the wet blending is not actually working as well as I would have hoped. But that's okay. We work with what we have. So I'm just going to focus for a minute while I try and speed run this. So apologies if I'm not reading chat. Decent. And now what will help as well, and it's like one of the most satisfying steps, is when we actually go around and oh, what's this? I am still here, TikTok. What's going on? There we go. Is we'll go around and edge highlight it, and it will make 10 times the difference. It'll make it look really cool. I'll do it now, and you can always go back and refine like your job. AK Paints. Hey mate, thank you. Thank you for the fan, and thank you for the gumdrop buttons. Appreciate it. So, as I was saying, let's get out this white, and we will edge highlight, and just watch how it sort of comes together. Like it makes it look almost finished, and you can just go back and refine as much as you want. So pretty much the off-white with a tiny bit of dark grey into it, so it's not pure sort of white colour. I'm just going to edge highlight. And this will bring the sword to life. You watch. Focus, there we go. Hopefully you can see that, it's not too blurry. And then if we can, there should be a slight ridge in the middle, which we can catch with our brush if we do it right. Yes, yep. There we go. Something like that. And then I kind of mushed it a little bit in the center, so you can just go and fix that up like that. But essentially, now you have like a really shiny sword. And if you want to, what people will sometimes do is do little scratch marks. Just like this and like this. And it kind of just adds to the overall look of the sword. Makes it look a little bit battle worn. Just a bit of texture. You don't want to overdo it, but it's just little bits here and there. And then obviously like that, how long did that take us? 10 minutes maybe? I'm not too sure how long. You could go back if you thought this was too bright. And you know, even now we could do it. And we can just darken some of those sections a little bit more. So we could bring that down a bit if we thought it was too light or whatever. And I've seen people as well, this is where like contrast paints work really well, is you could even add in a bit of color to, like a slight green tone or a yellow or purple or whatever tone you want. But yeah, so that's the end result. It's kind of what we're going for. And then you can see back here, that's what we started with. Little sketches, you know, you just got to trust the process. Like that looks pretty shit. And that looks not too bad for what we're going for. Slim Richmond, tricky part, nailed it. Thank you, dude. It is kind of tricky edge highlighting. And Kate, yes, I feel you there. Edge highlighting can be a bit stressful. Psycho, no worries, mate. If you need to jump, that's all good. I won't take any offense to it. John, thank you, mate. Appreciate it. Josh, is the paint safe to consume? Yes, this model acrylic paint's fine. You could drink it, theoretically. I wouldn't advise you to, but it's non-toxic, so you shouldn't have any issues. That's why I always lick my brush and don't think twice. So what are we going to do next, guys? I think I might refine a little bit more for areas that I might have missed. Might save the back of the sword, and I'll finish that off a little bit later. I'm just thinking, well, I've still got some wet stuff on my palette. We can pick out the rest of the white stuff because I have some pure white on my palette. Let's do that. Can I taste the paint? I sure can, mate. It doesn't taste great, if that's what you're wanting to know. It goes lion, nice lemonade, 100%. JJ, keep catching my cat drinking my paint water. She's a goofball. Oh, poor thing. She's a fellow hobbyist. You're not a true hobbyist if you haven't accidentally drunk your own paint water mistakenly. Fresh leaded paint. Oh mate, no lead in this paint. From Vault, I showed my boyfriend your stream and he immediately went to touch up his Warhammer minis. Oh, that's funny. No. So I was doing it before, but you can dry brush these parts. Like you can, but I find I'm actually not that great at dry brushing them. I always seem to get them in the crack, so I prefer to just try and pick them out if I can, individually. I know it's bloody tedious, but I find the result for me is better. I'd be very jealous of people that can dry brush those little bits, because I know it would save me a shit ton of time. Johan, Dark Angels I see. Indeed. Jeremy, say hi, Jeremy, please. Hi, Jeremy. How are you, mate? Okay, Randy. Orca, thank you. I like the color combo. Appreciate it. A boy thinks I started loving hhim for Warhammer, but I just wanted someone who's a nerd like me. Vault 42, don't we all? Ah, it's nice. You found your nerd. I'm happy for you. Hellos, how you going? Yes, I'm at it once again. How have you been, my friend? Slim Richmond, white cloth. How are you doing those white cloth parts? I was using, I'll show you the paints in a second. They're Citadel paints. I think Baneblade Brown was the base coat. And this is not the greatest work right now that I'm doing. I will definitely have to go back and touch that up. But that'll do for now. I'll just show you the paints. It's hard to sort of explain. I'm pretty sure I used, this is the base coat, and then I just mixed in Wraithbone and gradually built up the highlights. Kind of layered it on and then gradually kind of glazed it into some brighter and brighter highlights. Thank you, Volt42. Appreciate it. See you, my friend. And Tristan, you're a legend. Thanks, mate. Johan, brother, your mini looks great. I did not hear the news that the Primarch has returned. Very good. Oh, you like the wings, hollows? Thank you. Thank you. No, you're right, mate. I'm happy to sort of share and answer questions when I can. Dork Angels. Oh, now. These are some of the Emperor's finest. Isn't the first Legion? Can't be throwing shade. What am I going to paint the handle color? I might paint it the burgundy color. I think that's what we've done previously, so we'll do the same. Steve Long, thank you for the rose, my friend, and thank you for the gumdrop buttons. Legend. Ooh, and while I'm painting this, I can see that I've missed the back of that little ornament there, which we will need to go fix up. Wellesley, soon you're getting Lionel Johnson. Very excited, as you should be. As you should be. It's a great model. We only throw shade in the paint. That is true. That is true. I do love me some good shade. Thank you, Big Billy. You too. Thanks for stopping by, mate. Primarch would be proud of your painting skills, brother. Emperor's Angel. Thank you, dude. Yeah, good dad joke indeed. Carl, brother, what size brushes are your mains? And great painting. these ones here, or this one I should say, is my go-to, and it's brand new actually. First time painting with this one. I bought it the other day. Size 0 Raphael Kalinsky Sable. It is to replace my previous one, which was also a size 0 Raphael Kalinsky Sable, but as you can see, the tip of the brush of the old one's quite worn away. She served me well, but for finer detail work, I needed a new brush. So definitely recommend those ones if you've got them handy. Pick them up. Salutations. Hello, Hammer War. A question: wouldn't it be easy to paint all the pieces before gluing them together? You can. It's called painting in sub-assembly. It takes a lot longer, and you got to be careful not to chip or destroy the paint when you're gluing it together. Definitely a valid method of painting, that's for sure. Let's add in some highlights to the leather, because I still have some of that brown on my palette too. So we're going to use some Mornfang brown and mix it into our previous brown tone that we had. And I keep forgetting, guys, I'm very bad at this, but I don't know how to get the link up. I do have a Discord. If you guys want to join our Discord, it is down in the comments. Can't do it on TikTok, sorry guys. But yeah, we share photos, tips, all that sort of stuff. If you wish to partake in the fun, we would love to have you. Steve already tried to learn glazing this hard way. Yeah, glazing is hard, mate. I'm no expert at that by any means. Something I need to practice more. I really want to do it for non-metallic metal like gold and stuff, because that's a big weakness of mine, is non-metallic metals and like gold armor. Like some of the paint jobs that I see online, oh, if I could paint like that, that would be sick. You've been enjoying Artist Opus brushes at the moment, Slim? Yeah, nice. Look, Artist Opus, I used them for a solid 6 months, I think. They were my go-to brush. I did find that they deteriorated quite quickly, which is why I ended up looking elsewhere, because I kind of replaced the brush at least 2 times when I had it. So that's kind of where I moved away from it as a brand. But if you're enjoying it, all power to you, my friend. Jack, I'm wanting to play Age of Sigmar. Do you know any armies that would be easiest to paint? Mate, I've got the easiest paint job in the world here. I'll show you. Let me get these skelly boys dusted off for you. These Soulblight Gravelords, these guys are so easy and quick to paint. I made a YouTube video on how to paint this from start to finish. You could paint these guys in like half an hour, easy. They are so quick and easy, and they look cool. I reckon anyway. Maybe give them a shot. Pappuccino, take the music away from the stream, and it's a pretty good ASMR stream. Mate, I'd go insane if I wasn't listening to music. So unfortunately, you're stuck with it. I cannot grant you that request. Apologies. Kate, have you ever painted Ultramarines? I have actually. here are my Ultramarines that I've painted up before. This is Blade Guard Veteran Matoris from Secret Level, the episode on Warhammer 40k, which was absolutely wicked. Loved that. So that's him there. And then I've also painted up this dude. God, my guys are so dusty. This one here. And I also made a tutorial from start to finish on YouTube how to paint these guys. This is the exact model that I used in the tutorial. So if you want to know how to paint like this from start to finish, check out that vid. Yeah, it's good fun. I've experimented, like these are two different types of blue, like you can sort of see the difference. This one was using inks and this was using just normal acrylic paint. So depending on what sort of tone you're wanting to go for, obviously, different results. Hobby Fiend Space Marine 2 squad when? I don't know. I don't have much time for gaming, unfortunately. Too busy working and painting. Wish I had more time for games. Battlefield 6, when that gets released, oh, believe you me, I'll be playing that game for sure. Alrighty. Where were we? Lost my train of thought. We're tidying up, aren't we? There's a few areas here that I need to tidy up. Thank you, Kate. I'm glad you like him. And thank you guys on the Ultramarine. Appreciate it. Very kind comments. You have to get a Kalinsky Sable. Yeah, dude, they're solid brushes. Very solid brushes. Just gotta look after them. Give them a bath every now and again. Brush soap. And they will serve you well. Mikkel, you want to get into painting minis? Get into it, mate. Grab yourself a starter box, a couple of paints and a paintbrush, and you are on your way. Where is the camera? We got one up here where you guys are looking in and seeing me, and I've got my phone looking down on my desk, and that's what is your vision of my my model right here. Thanks, Hollows. Appreciate it. Pointless, how are you? Good to see you too, mate. We might highlight this leather now while I'm thinking about it, and we're going to use XV88 to do so. I think that's the play. It might be stark, but we'll see. If it's too stark, we can always go back and tone it down. It's not too bad, I don't think. And it's alright if it's not like a perfect highlight either, because it kind of adds to the texture of like leather. That's good to hear, mate. Yeah, I am fantastic, mate. Thank you. Living the dream. Not enough hobby time though, unfortunately. Wish we had more. I'm sure some of you feel the same. Never enough hobby time. Pat, thank you, and Carl, thank you too, and Sin Daily, thank you. Break the stigma. Never played Warhammer. Want to get into it with my 10-year-old. Where do you recommend starting? Dude, I think if you're getting in it with your 10-year-old and you reckon you'll stick into it, maybe like one of the starter boxes where you have one faction each would be cool. You get the rules if you want to play the game. That's also fun. Something like that. I don't know what the current one is at the moment. That could be a good option for you. The other option is if you both want to pick your own little kind of army, would be maybe like a kill team, I reckon, where you get a box of 10 minis each, and then you can pick up a couple of paints and do some short, quick games with each other. I think that'd be fun too. It's expensive, mate. I was brought into the hobby at 10 years old, so be prepared to spend a lot of money. That's the only caveat on that. So I'm just adding a few scratchy details here and there on the leather, trying to add to that worn effect. Okay, alright, we might finish the back of this sword. I'm sick of looking at it and looking like it's in like 180p, whereas the front is kind of finished. That is cute, mate. Bonding with your boy has no price tag. I dig that. Yes. Truer words have never been spoken. Do I collect any Joy Toy Warhammer figures? The Emperor's Angel, I don't. Unfortunately, mate. If I did, I think I'd go for the ones that are unpainted. Are they McFarlane or are they Joy Toy? Either or. That would be sick to like paint up a scaled up version of the minis. So as we were doing before, let's paint and glaze in this sword. So I'll quickly show you my palette. Here are the two paints here, and what we're going to do is kind of end up with something like this. So I started off with white over here, the grey over here, and I kind of mixed them. So you've got a darker mix here, a lighter mix here, and then you can kind of just work back and forth with the glazes if you are interested in those processes. Going to keep going in and out of focus. Come on. There we go. If I were to mix black with gunmetal, what base coat would I need before I layer the darkened metal? I'd just go straight over black. That's all I would do. I think that's all you really need. Should be fine. Love the sword. Would it work on a power axe? Most definitely, dude. 100%. You just need to pick out where you want the sort of shiny, highlighty bits. You can do it in different colors too. You don't have to use black and white or grey and white. You can use oranges. You can do purple, whatever color you want. Okay. I'm just mixing on my palette here. Sorry guys, give me a second. And we can start to glaze. Slowly build up the transitions. You are welcome, my friend. Anytime. Draco, favorite chapter? Hard question, mate. Don't know if I can answer that. I would say one of my favorites is Blood Angels. That's for sure. I love painting red. So I'd have to say Blood Angels. But heretically, Khorne Berserkers, Emperor's Children. Like, World Eaters rather, Emperor's Children. Those guys are dope. What about you, my friend? Gosh, it's drying too quickly on my palette. We're not really getting that wet blending effect tonight. Bloody hell. Primaris, what's the easiest faction to paint? Necrons, I reckon. Black, dry brush, silver. Pick out the green shiny bits. You're good to go. Okay, so let's kind of work on this transition a little bit more. Then we'll be very close to finishing. And I think that might do us for the stream once I finish this sword. For this evening. I just thought, I don't know if you're done with the gold, but maybe look into the Gundam markers. Gold mark is one of the greatest things for painting gold ever, but it will ruin your brushes. Might have to. We're not finished on this gold. This is just a base coat at this point in time, but I appreciate, I'm always open to different ways of painting, that's for sure. So thank you for the suggestion, mate. Okay. What about Space Moon chapter? Asked Primaris. I'm assuming about the painting. What's easiest? Oh, I don't know. Anything that's solid colors is easiest because then you don't have to mess around with different patterns and all that sort of stuff. So like Ultramarines, Blood Angels, Imperial Fists, Dark Angels can be pretty easy. But something that has like multiple colors in their armor makes it a lot harder, like Flesh Terrors, for example. Because you got to paint, obviously, two different sections, two different colors. Okay, we're getting very close with this transition. We're nearly done. Or as done as I'm going to be. You could tweak this for as ages if you really wanted to. But ain't nobody got time for that. Okay, we're going to let this dry, and then we're going to come in with that edge highlight. and we're going to see what it looks like. Because the edge highlight frames the model so well, or frames the sword rather, very well. And you can always come back and refine later. Okay, so let's do this. A little bit of white, slightest bit of dark grey because I don't want pure white. We'll just come in for this edge highlight. Okay, that's all right. And then we got to get the little bits in the middle. If we can, again, tilt our brush on the side so we're getting just the smallest little bits, we should be all right. Oh, that is not what we want. That's not the smallest little bits. That is an error. It's alright, shit happens. Wait for that to dry. So I always want to pull the brush to me. That's kind of the easiest way to get edge highlights to happen. Gosh, it's very flat, isn't it? I don't even know if I can get that. What I might have to do instead is physically draw that on, because I'm just looking at that. The ridge is kind of caked in. When we stripped the model, we didn't have enough. Stripping obviously didn't do a good enough job. So it's clogged the detail, so let's try and just manually sketch this in. God, it's not going to look as good. I'm definitely going to have to come back and refine this, but showing you the good, the bad, and the ugly here on the stream. And this is 100% the bad and the ugly. Fuck. More attention to detail, Aaron, next time. But it's kind of salvaged it a little bit. I'll have to go back and refine that, but for now that looks okay. Alright, sorry guys, I missed quite a bit of messages here in the chat. While I answer some of these, let me pull up some models so you got something to look at. Biggest tip for someone just starting out painting models, mate, I think that would be thinning your paints and just get your reps in. You just got to keep painting. It's the only way to get better. Just like at the gym, building muscle, consistency. That's how you end up picking up bigger weights. Same thing with models. That's how you get better. Yeah, we're painting Warhammer. What angels are you painting? Dark Angels. I think it's a kit-bashed captain that we're painting. Ellie Gonzalez. Do I have Primarchs? Not on me, unfortunately. Sorry, mate. I've sent them off as part of the commission. They are gone. PP. How long did it take you to paint the whole thing? Not too long, like something like this, maybe about 2.5 hours, I think, like the Corn Berserker. This a bit longer, just because obviously there's different parts and the glow effects and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, on average around 2 to 3 hours for a decent-ish paint job. As a gym rat, I second this. Hell yeah, Vulcan, 100%. You love playing it on your computer, Dark Crusade. I love the lore. Very nice, Ellie. Yeah, the lore's sick. I love listening to the lore when I paint. Gilson, or Gil Season. Gil Season? Thank you, appreciate it. Do you have Adeptus Custodes? I don't, sorry. A lot of the models that I have here are just Space Marines. I have painted the Custodes before, but again, it's for like a commission, so unfortunately, I don't have the finished product on hand anymore. How do I paint the white? On the white Black Templar that I painted, start with greys and then you work up to an even lighter grey, and then you do the edge highlighting with kind of your off pure whites. So never starting with an actual white, always a dark grey is the way that I paint them. You like the weathering? Thank you guys, appreciate it. What was my first kit? Emperor Edits. My first kit was the Necrons box set when I was 10 years old. I think I was 9, 10. And it came with a monolith and like 20 Necron warriors and a Necron lord or something like that. It was sick back in the day. My little Emperor's children. What do I use for the base? I use texture paste. I'm very lazy when it comes to basing, so I'll use texture paste for most of it. But here, how it's elevated, it's just a bit of cork and then covered it in texture paste, and you're good to go. And then paint and a few pigment powder, and that's it done. Love the way you paint the head. Thank you, dude. Appreciate it. Have I painted Titans? I have painted Titans. I've painted a Chaos Knight Titan thing. It was a big one. And I've also painted Imperial Knights Titans before as well. I've got some on my website and stuff like that. My Instagram, all those sorts of places. I've posted pictures of my completed models if you are interested in seeing them. Last one here, Emperor Edits. What do you recommend kit for starters? Mine was Cernguard Veteran Squad. I was saying to another guy in chat before, for starting, if you're doing it yourself, I would recommend a kill team, because you can get a whole kind of feel for a particular army or faction, and they're quite unique in the models that they sell. Like, they're not just all kind of similar, you know what I mean? So yeah, maybe like a kill team as a little tester, getting started into the hobby. And sorry, dude, Break the Stigma. Thank you for the fan. That is worth some gumdrop buttons. Thank you, my dude. I think Sanguinius is the cool Primarch. Your ex taught you about it and you fell in love with the lore. Yes, indeed, he is a very good Primarch. Very cool, and unfortunately, he's no longer with us. Alrighty, guys, I'm going to have to call it here. We've been live for nearly 2 hours now. I've got some other stuff I need to do on this Saturday evening. But it has been wonderful hanging out with you all. I really appreciate you. I look forward to seeing you guys next time. Yeah, all the best. Happy hobbying. Take care. And peace, guys. Adios. Bye.